It's not your fault that your brain has rotted. It's not your fault that you're constantly stuck scrolling on your phone or constantly going back to the same addictions, eating, whatever the case may be. It's not your fault. Everything is geared and everything has been set up as a trap for you to fall into the moment life gets difficult, the moment that you start to stress. Now there's so many things around you. Every corner is a liquor store. Every corner has most people are looking to seize your power. Most people are looking to leverage your weakness against you. It's not your fault that the brain has rotted. I saw a woman make a video about brain rot and the ways to fight it, and I think a lot of the points she made were great. She was talking about you need to start focusing on getting your focus back. Start reading books or start to do things that require focus. And the only issue I had with that is that people can't even start. People can't start because just using myself as an example, whenever I'm not in a clear state of mind, it's really hard for me to read because I'm reading like 3 4 sentences in, and then there's an interjection thought, like a thought that I have about something I'm doing that I'm not supposed to be doing, or just about life in general. It doesn't have to be about um like like a lack of self-control, that's sitting in my subconscious, but in all reality it could just be anything. And that's the issue with having a lack of self-control because of your external stress. If you give into your external stress or the people around you, and it leads you to like not go to the gym or not do the thing that you set out to do, like wake up early or not work on that business or not read, like it sits in the back of your mind. And it's not even that just keeps resurfacing. It comes in the form of now you're thinking about useless things, like you're stuck in a repetitive thought loop. It's just making you it's making your mind kind of like run everywhere, when in all reality, if you're still having that self-control in the midst of that stress, your mind would be much more clear. So the only qualm I had with that video is that she's giving this advice, but she doesn't realize that many people can't even start. They don't know where to start. And I think the greatest place to start is the thing that saved my life, which is meditation. It's consciously controlling your thinking. Like when you close your eyes, you're gonna have like in the span of a minute, like I don't know how many thoughts, like hundreds and hundreds like of thoughts, hundreds of thoughts in a minute. That's a lot. That's a lot of thoughts, man. Especially if your mind is kind of unraveled and you're in that brain rot state. You have to practice it though. It takes time. You're not Most people do meditation and for like a day or two and they're like, "Oh man, this shit ain't working." Like it's not it with like just like everything great, it takes time. It takes practice. Like it took me weeks before I could get to like 30 seconds of peace and just kind of like there's nothing going on in my head. And not maybe like even 10 seconds. You have to work your way up though, and it's a great addiction to have, an addiction to being empty, because when you're empty, you're most receptive to information. If you're having all this stuff going on in your head that it's like running in the background, it's kind of like having a computer and you're running like 50 programs in the background. Like, bro, treat opening up the browser and trying to like search for some information or have a chat with someone, like it might be a lot slower because there's all these background processes going on. But if you start going through using meditation to close them one by one, by controlling the direction of your thought, after a while it just becomes a lot easier to be receptive to information. And if you're actually receptive and responsive to information, you're actually living life. You're not kind of living in the state of being 20% of who you are or trying to act like you've still got it, you know? So yeah, to really the best way to beat brain rot is the thing that most people don't want to do, which is meditate and also exercise. Like you need to reduce the inflammation in your body, because if your body's inflamed because of the garbage that you've been consuming, or you're stressed about the people around you, but in all reality you're also feeding it because you've become conditioned to this negativity and addicted. Your body is addicted to it and knows that you're not getting much of any feeling, so this feeling is better than nothing, right? But it's making your body inflamed, and once your body's inflamed, you start thinking that something is gravely wrong. Like then the idea of like future doom comes, like impending doom comes in. It's like, oh my God, something is wrong. That something is really really bad is gonna happen in the future. But all the times you ever thought that, like if you're watching this video, shit, you survived. And if you made hella mistakes, I guarantee you that a lot of those mistakes probably also came from being in a state of fear and operating at 20% of your capacity. So yeah, also reducing inflammation, trying to eat healthier, like do things that are actually good for you and feel lighter in general. Then your mind will be more clear. But if it's kind of like a dog that has like a splinter in its foot. It's not going to act rationally at all. It's going to snap at things that are not even threats. It's not thinking light. You want to have a light state of thought, like feeling like air, walking. You want to be air walking through air. You just want to flow seamlessly. You don't want to walk around heavy all the time, man. All these foods and all this garbage is made so people feel heavy. And when people feel heavy, guess what happens? They become more isolated, because not only do they just judge others, but they judge themselves. And they try to avert any sort of social interaction. Not, they don't want to be seen anymore, so they stop trying. And if they stop trying, guess what happens? They need to buy things, a bunch of things, and so they have things to talk about to other people that only care about things. But in all reality, it's because they're treating their biggest gift, which is their body and their mind, like nothing, you know? And they're treating all these other things that are brands that may have lasted 50 to 100 years old. Like this earth has lasted so long, and these brands have lasted 50 to 100 years old, and they're treating these like things as if they're God. Like, no. Um, so yeah, if you want, like, it's really is a conscious decision, like, to leave your phone in the car in some situations, or realize that you don't always have to be constantly in the group chat, and the fact that you're in the group chat like messaging all day is taking you away from the pretty girl sitting in front of you. And the less you take those opportunities, the more your confidence goes down over time, and it makes you feel like it's impossible at one point, leading to depression. This is probably a lot of the issues that young men face, really. Most people in general. Um, I'm not saying don't scroll or don't consume content, but like try to at least be in control of the content that you do consume. Curate your content to stuff that will make your life better, not just like scrolling just for the sake of needing to do something to get away from your mind. Please, if anything, please try meditation for a couple weeks, please, because there's a lot of woo woo with meditation or the stigma attached to it. But guess what? Most of the things that have stigma attached to them actually lead to some sort of happiness. And as much as you say it's impossible to possible to be happy, look, I feel like I might not have had the worst life in the world, but I've had things have not always been so great for me, and I still want to choose positivity because I know where that's where the wealth is. I was dating a girl for 11 years, and she ended up leaving me because a multitude of reasons, but she's white and my mom is traditional Indian. It didn't and they both clashed. But yeah, it sent me down a path of addiction. I've always like had addictive tendencies though, since like right when I got into the corporate world, because not really even in college too. It's just I couldn't grasp. I had to earn my stripes first of all, but I couldn't grasp the idea of having my life controlled by people around me, and that's what I was. That's what. That's what always what I felt was that something was wrong, was that people were controlling my life, making decisions for me. I didn't really even feel like a person for a lot of my life, but yeah, um, yeah. If you really want to work on your brain rot, and I'm telling you, man, it's much better to be on the other side of it, because I was on the extreme end of brain rot, like where I was in the whole year of 2023. I pretty much like shut my brain off because it was too difficult to exist. Like I had to constantly run away from my mind all day, whether it be through sports betting, whether it be through like I had three screens opened up every single night, and like drinking and eat. Like some nights I would have like two or take out from two or three places and just be sitting there eating garbage all night, and just like watching Netflix and playing 2K and on my phone too, not even focusing on anything, just like I didn't want a single space between the dopamine and the thoughts coming, and then the moment I would try to lay down to sleep, man, it would all hit me every single time. So I tried to just inflame the shit out of my body until it was so tired that it was like, bro, like you need to knock out, and yeah, that I think. And also probably like throwing some masturbation too. That was an easy way to get dopamine. Like yeah, and that's also with brain. It goes along with brain rot too. A lot of brain rot is like your fucked up dopamine regulation. Like it's a lot of it comes down to you're not like we don't need that much dopamine. Like people don't need it. It's just you get addicted to it. Like you give like dopamine can be received, you can get it from much clean like better sources, and it just feels cleaner too, like giving to people, having coherent thought, exercise, eating right, being like in your creative state. These things will give you amazing dopamine, but they don't take away from you. They don't, it's not like a sharp increase that you get from like looking at your phone or like a reel or something like that. So just I feel like a lot of our generation has this difficulty, and you walk around, you'll see people just like ingrained into their phone, and you just miss like attention and emotion are power. Your attention, what you decide to place your attention on, ultimately decides the trajectory of your life. Whether or not you're living a life that you want to live, because success doesn't always success isn't always success. Like if you're not living a life where you feel like you're doing what you want in some sort of way, I don't think you're successful really. Like if you're just doing it to give an outwards appearance that you're moving along, it's you gotta actually want it. You gotta want it. Like, and that doesn't have to just be your job. It can be your like family. It can be anything. It can be anything really. But if you're if you don't have control of that thought, then it'll lead you down a path of always needing like something to fix that, whether it be validation or just addiction, like all these things that are gonna really that like you don't want to look back at your life and end up like low fat milk, like 2% of who you are.